Hello
Yeah.
everyone, I am Dr. Simran Jethwani, the Growth and Marketing Specialist at Founders Office of Odigio Careers, and I welcome you to the second episode of Non-Clinical Jobs Decoded. And today we have one of our successfully placed past clients with us, Dr. Sushmitha, who will give us insights about her journey from the clinical sector, that is her senior dental surgeon, to a medical advisor. And I won't be giving much of justice to her profile, so I'll let her introduce herself. So, yeah, ma'am, could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, sure. So, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Sushmitha. I did my bachelor's in dentistry from Manipal University in 2019, and right after that, I started working as a dentist at a local dental clinic. So, I worked there for almost 2 to 2.5 years. And after that, I transitioned into a non-clinical role. And my first non-clinical role itself is a medical advisor. And I'm currently working as a regional medical advisor at a pharma company.
Could you please give us some insights on your journey from, like, how was it from the dental surgeon to a medical advisor?
So, like I have mentioned, I worked as a dentist for 2 to 2.5 years. And during this duration, we as dentists, as freshly passed out graduates, we are conditioned to accept that there is less pay and not so great working conditions. So, when I was working as a dentist, I used to work 7 days a week and bare minimum pay. Although I was enjoying it, I did not realize, like I said, we are conditioned to accept that this is all normal. So I did not realize it until my health started getting affected throughout this process. So that is when I had to take and stop working for at least I had to understand that I needed a work-life balance, and that is when I transitioned into a non-clinical role.
Okay. Most of us actually face this. Like, we are forced to
Yes.
accept the pressure thing into this field.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, yeah, moving forward, when did you realize that you should try exploring into the non-clinical domain?
So that is the transition point when my health started getting affected through the dentist, through being a clinical dentist. So that is when I realized that, okay, I should transition into a non-clinical role where there is more work-life balance and a better pay and better respect for what we are doing.
Hmm. Yeah, right. So also, how would you describe your this medical advisor role to someone who is very unfamiliar with it?
So simply putting it in simple terms, I would say we actually are the face of our organization, acting as a bridge between our organization and the healthcare professionals or the top experts of that particular therapy area, which we would usually call key opinion leaders. So we act as a bridge between our organization and the HCPs or the KOLs, and we provide clinical expertise to them in terms of regulatory affairs or any pharmacovigilance issues or any product related queries or anything like that.
Okay, okay, cool. That sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also, I would like to ask, what are the educational qualifications you require for this role?
So ideally, the pharma organizations they ideally require MD pharmacology, but it also differs from organization to organization because some people would be willing to hire MBBS people, BDS people. Some organizations, even my organization, sometimes depending on their level of expertise, they also hire B Pharm or M Pharm people
Okay.
based on
So
their
what?
requirement.
Okay, okay. So what is the ratio if we compare? Uh, who are the more who are hired more in number according to you, like from your experience?
I So maybe it is because of my circle or whatever it is. I see a lot of dental graduates getting into the medical advisor role.
Okay. Okay, that is interesting to
Yeah.
listen. Like people would
Yeah.
like get motivated by this.
Yes, exactly. Because my colleagues, two or three of them, maybe if you consider out of a team of five people, uh, three of them are dental graduates in my
Oh,
organization
nice.
itself. So yes, maybe it's because of my circle, or maybe it's a general coincidence, but I see that dental graduates are getting hired a little more, maybe because of their versatility that they bring to the role, or whatever it is.
Well, nice. So moving forward, did you pursue any internships to develop any skills for this particular role, or some additional courses
Uh,
if you had attended?
No, not particularly. So I haven't taken any special courses or any special training to get into the medical advisor role. It's purely based, they have hired me purely based on my clinical experience and my skills that I bring to the table.
Okay, nice. This is like because
Yeah,
most of us who are trying to switch from like clinical domain to the non-clinical ones, we think we need some additional skills to put onto the table. And we look for
right,
courses and internships to like build some additional skills to our profile. So this was
right.
like even when I am trying to switch, I am currently trying to switch. So even I sometimes feel, is there something that I should bring more to the table? Is this not enough for us put in? So yeah, that way. Okay.
Yes, coming from a
This is
healthcare background itself, I think we have enough skills, great communication skills, and other skills as well that we bring to the table. So, even like I mentioned, most of my colleagues, I don't think they have also done any special courses to get into the medical advisor role.
we should like I should try pointing. I should prepare some pointers for this, I guess.
Definitely.
Okay. So moving forward, are there some additional skills one should develop? Like some, there might be some.
So I wouldn't say additional skills, but the basic skills that you need to get into the role of a medical advisor is one thing I would suggest a great strong communication skills. So strong communication skills is something that is non-negotiable when it comes to a medical advisor or a MSL role, okay, or medical affairs for that matter. So great communication skills and strategic thinking is something that you require because you need to organize a lot of medical activities in your job responsibilities. So that is something that you need, and of course, analytical thinking to interpret the clinical data and all these things. And also, something again which is non-negotiable is that the ability to uh, build a strong network with the doctors or the uh, key opinion leaders that we'll be meeting. So, and also we are required to work with cross-functional teams as well. So, networking and relationship building skills are something is also a great skill for this role.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to ask, what are the key responsibilities of a medical advisor?
So medical advisor, they would basically provide clinical and scientific expertise to internal teams like marketing teams, sales teams, etc., as well as external stakeholders, as we call. So external stakeholders would include the healthcare professionals, the key opinion leaders that we interact to, and also we develop medical strategies for products and therapies and support marketing teams with medically accurate content, like provide them, because sales team are also a lot on the field, so they also get a lot of requests. We need information regarding this particular product or in terms of this particular therapy area. So someone who's from a non-medical background, they might not always be able to answer the doctor queries. So that is when we come into the picture, and that is where we provide um, content or medically accurate content or clinical expertise. And also we train the field teams like sales teams again and marketing teams, and also conduct advisory board meetings understand the latest clinical insights or the latest marketing trends of that particular disease or that particular therapy area, and take all these insights to the medical team or the medical affairs team, where they can work on product development and strategies on what to launch next or where to navigate next.
That was a great like insight to it, where people can actually
Yes,
get a clear picture into what the exactly role is. Okay,
yes.
so what would be the two things you like about your role?
Uh, my favorite thing about the job is that you get to network with the top experts of that particular field or that particular therapy area. Because I think in any other non-clinical role, maybe you won't have this chance to have a great network of doctors or healthcare professionals for that matter. And here you get to interact with the top level experts and understand their thought process and understand the latest global changing clinical trends in that particular therapy area and things like that. And of course, one of my favorite thing is also the ability to travel in this role. So
The
you
people
get to
who
travel
like
a lot.
traveling, yeah.
Yes, for people who love traveling, this is a great role for you. And
Okay.
also establishing a great network with the clinical experts of that
Definitely.
particular therapy area. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Also, like when we think about what we like about the role, we also think about the challenging part of it. So, what are those challenging parts of the role?
Again, the favorite part itself is also the challenging part because interacting and having a great network with the top level experts of that particular therapy area does not come easily. And also, especially coming from dental background, where our base and our base knowledge is mostly about dental, this thing, I find it particularly challenging to stay updated with the knowledge, to be able to interact with the top key opinion leaders, because when you are interacting with them, you should make sure that you have sufficient knowledge to be able to answer their queries. So if you are not knowledgeable enough or scientifically equipped, it becomes a little challenging. So that is something that I find it challenging on an everyday basis. And you need to understand that this role comes with constant learning. It's not like you get a job and you're done, you do your job. So it
Hmm.
involves a
Right.
lot of learning, because the healthcare is changing every day. And you need to keep up with the latest medical knowledge to be able to interact with the key opinion leaders. So
Yeah.
that is something very
So,
challenging.
right. So this way we can sum it up. Like the most challenging part would be like dealing with the senior most or the topmost healthcare professionals in the domain and to maintain up or stay updated with the knowledge in the sector. Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So moving forward, what is the difference between medical advisor, MSL, and medical affairs?
So medical affairs is something, it's like a big umbrella. Under
Hmm.
these, we have the roles like medical advisor and medical scientific liaison or things like that. So mainly medical advisor works at a strategic level with the organization to provide scientific and clinical expertise to the internal teams. It could be marketing teams and sales teams or regulatory affairs teams, etc. So their
Mm-hmm.
main interaction would be with the internal teams. Of course, there will be interaction with the external stakeholders as well when it comes to maybe organizing any medical activities or advisory boards. So that is when the medical advisor mainly interacts with the external stakeholders, but otherwise, mostly it is with the internal teams. And also, medical advisor, they focus on product strategy, clinical data interpretation, and things like that. So, and they occasionally engage with external stakeholders, and they develop and implement medical strategies. So I would say, to sum it up, I think medical advisor is more of a more of an office-based role and less of a field-based role. And they, of course, travel occasionally for conferences or meetings like that. But when it comes to a medical scientific liaison, MSL role, so the term liaison itself uh, indicates that it's an interaction between two individuals or two groups. Okay,
Yes.
so the main target audience or the main people of interaction would be the external stakeholders. Like I work as a regional medical advisor, so we are mostly field based, and we go and interact with the key opinion leaders, which are also called external stakeholders. We, of
Okay.
course, also interact with internal stakeholders like sales team and marketing team as well, but majorly we are interactive with the external stakeholders.
Mhm.
And we MSLs, they basically focus on building relationships, networks, gather real world insights like I've mentioned, and sharing the scientific updates with the external stakeholders, as well as taking this information back to the medical advisor team so that they
Mhm.
can work on product strategies and navigate to their next step. So basically, acting as a bridge between the organization and the external stakeholders and
Okay.
maintaining a relationship with the key opinion leaders.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So, what do you find interesting? Like between all of these, all the three roles, what you find most interesting?
So it depends on your preferences. If you prefer more of a office-based role, maybe I do not want to travel too much, then you should go for a medical advisor role. But as someone who likes traveling, I would prefer an MSL role or a regional medical advisor role, where you get to travel a lot and interact with different experts of that particular region. So I would prefer a MSL role.
Understood. Understood. And how would you describe medico marketing to the audience?
Is basically it integrates medical knowledge into the marketing strategies. So basically to ensure accurate and evidence-based promotions of healthcare products.
So also a lot of people like who are very unfamiliar with the non-clinical domain confuse medical affairs with the medical representative. So what is that key
Right.
difference which you would like to put light on?
Uh, it's a vast difference because we are not medical representatives. So, like I've mentioned previously, when a key opinion leader or an external stakeholder, if he has any doubt regarding any product related query, or if he needs a support in terms of a clinical trail or anything like that, medical representatives won't be able to provide the scientific expertise to the doctors, whereas a medical
Exactly.
advisor can provide a scientific uh, expertise to the doctor. So, medical representative is mainly focused on the sales of the product,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
we are mostly focused on the scientific side of the product, scientific support of the product, to
Right.
simply keep it.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And also, like, what are like what all companies hire for this, like medical advisor?
Medical advisors are mainly pharmaceutical companies hire medical advisor role because they have a dedicated medical affairs team to work on their
Mm-hmm.
products. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I have previously worked with a health
Mm-hmm.
technology company, which is an AI based company. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes companies like those also need a medical team. So that
Medical.
is when you get hired as, yes. So that is when you get hired as a medical advisor for health tech companies, and also medical device manufacturers or biotech
Yeah.
firms also hire medical advisor
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah. Right. So, what do companies actually look for in a potential medical advisor? Some tips.
Like um, again, same thing. It's basically they look for strong communication skills, strong presentation skills, because when it comes to any regional medical activities or big conferences, uh,
Mm-hmm.
when you are acting as the face of the organization, you are supposed to represent the organization in those conferences. So you need to have excellent communication skills, excellent presentation skills, and also understand and analyze the clinical data. And basically, ability to engage with healthcare professionals.
Yeah.
So these
Like
are
in
some
short,
things that are
yeah,
non-negotiable.
yeah. In short, the communication skills and presentation skills and the topmost we would consider
Networking,
confidence,
yes,
networking and
yes,
confidence. Yes.
networking skills, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is your dream company? Like a company you have desired to work in future or something like that?
So I do not have a particular dream company as such, but I aspire
Mm-hmm.
to work with more globally available companies to understand the latest and changing healthcare trends.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where I look forward to work with in future,
Interesting.
more
So,
global
yeah,
companies.
yeah. For more growth opportunities, we can say. Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. Right. Also, like coming this far, how has your journey been into the non-clinical domain?
I would say a little bit challenging initially. Of course, it is still challenging every day on some aspects as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
initial days, I was so happy that okay, I get to travel and all. But once you
Mm-hmm.
get into the role, then only you understand the depth of the role. That it needs a lot of constant learning and constant ability to build strong communication skills, and also comes with a lot of patience because as an MSL or as a regional medical advisor, you are expected to wait sometimes for hours and hours to meet some particular key opinion leader or something like that. So that is when you start questioning your own role, like
Yeah.
because being a doctor, you're like, why am I waiting for so
Mm-hmm.
long?
Yeah.
So eventually you understand that the key opinion leader and their opinions matter. So that is when you're like, okay, I need to understand that this is important for my role. So that is something that I've learned throughout this role. So I think it has been great, and I wouldn't negotiate this role for any other non-clinical role, I would say,
But
given
then,
the
yeah.
advantages of this role. Although it is a little challenging, it's a constant learning process.
Hmm. Right. So that's what, when it comes to challenges, we eventually grow learning from them. So it is good to have
Exactly.
challenges. Yeah. In short, we are
Yes.
learning.
Yes.
Yeah. Good, good.
Yes.
So, what would be the average salary for like someone who's expecting, like, what would be it for the entry level positions? Someone who's trying to
So the
switch now.
based on your interview process and based on presentation that you give, your skills are usually analyzed based on that. So
Hmm.
the average salary can range somewhere between 8 to 15 lakhs, considering a fresher or someone who do not have experience in this role.
Okay. And like, what is the scope of growth in this role?
So, like you have asked me, what is the difference between medical advisor and an MSL? The scope is a little more or less same, but a little different for both the roles. So, for a medical advisor, you get promoted to a senior medical advisor, or you get to work for the head of the medical affairs. Like I mentioned, all of
Okay.
these roles come under the umbrella of
Mm-hmm.
medical affairs. So,
Mm,
you
right.
get to head the medical affairs team maybe somewhere 10 to 15 years down the lane based on your expertise. And senior medical advisor would be the immediate promotion for this role, or a
Okay.
senior team member. And for MSL, you get to become a medical advisor, like from
Mm-hmm.
a field-based medical advisor to a field-based medical scientific liaison to a medical advisor role. And or you can also lead the team of the RMAs or MSLs,
Okay.
and
Interesting.
eventually leading the country or the national head for
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm. Very good.
field-based medical team.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So,
Yeah.
if not medical advisor, what other roles were you interested in initially? Like back then when you were looking for the roles, or when you were looking from like looking to switch from the clinical sector to this non-clinical one?
So, I would say that coming from someone who has a creative hand, I still miss dentistry. So, given good working conditions and given good paying conditions, I would love to be a dentist again. If not for the clinical role, then my non-clinical preferences would be maybe somewhere into research because research field is also something that is budding these days.
Mm-hmm.
So a research, more of a research-based role is something that I would prefer.
Okay. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
now let's come to this part. And how did you actually land up into this role?
So I am a classic example of how Odigio works to tailoring the client's needs and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you get placed into a role that justifies to your full potential. So
Hmm.
initially, when I have approached Odigio, uh, we have landed quite a few interviews within a very short period of time.
Hmm.
But I did not know initially on what is a good role and what is a bad role. All I wanted was a job with a decent pay compared to a
Hmm.
dentist.
Right.
And
Hmm.
non-clinical roles, most of them offer a weekend offs and a decent pay, more or less.
Hmm.
So so within, I think, a month of approaching Odigio, this includes that this 1 month includes resume preparation, interview prep, networking, and all these things. I landed into a medical advisor role at a medical insurance company.
Okay.
Now, that is not a classical medical advisor role that I have described now. It is nowhere related to that, but the designation is a medical advisor,
Hmm.
wherein we were doing more or less of a tele-representative stuff.
Ah,
So
okay.
I had to quit within 10 to 15 days or 2 weeks of working into that. But I was very skeptical. I'm like, what if I do not land into any other role? The founder of Odigio, Anaita, constantly assured me that, see, this is not your full potential, and if you're not satisfied with the role, just leave it. I am pretty sure you will find a lot of great other roles to your potential. But initially, I was very skeptical, but the confidence that she gave me was something that made me quit that role, and I immediately landed into a normal, typical medical advisor role at a health tech company. So that is how my non-clinical journey has started.
Anarka being Anarka, obviously, she makes sure her clients are in a good state. Okay.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so moving forward, one of my favorite parts and the interesting one, we have implemented a new segment with the rapid fire round. And for this round, I'll be asking you questions. You have to be spontaneous with your answers. That's it. Immediate answers.
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. So, clinical or non-clinical? What would you choose?
Non-clinical.
Okay. Where do you find a good work-life balance? Like you have
Of
already
course,
answered, but
non-clinical. Yes. Non-clinical without a doubt.
okay. Where do you find more financial stability?
Non-clinical again, without a doubt.
Of course. Clinics or the corporate office?
Um,
Fast,
I
fast, fast.
This is a difficult. Okay, non corporate offices.
Okay.
It
Okay.
comes with all the
Uh,
perks.
yeah, right. Uh, where do you find more flexibility?
Of course, non-clinical. For
Okay.
my role, yes, non-clinical.
Okay. What is the most challenging part? Like patient care or deadlines, like content deadlines or meetings, whatever.
I think still pay management because we are forced to stick to deadlines, so it is not the difficult continuing in the role.
Okay. White coats or formals?
Formals,
So fixed shifts or flexible hours?
flexible hours.
Okay. Where do you find the job stability? Clinical or non-clinical?
Uh, Non-clinical, I would say.
Okay. More growth opportunities?
Uh, Non-clinical for my role, yes, a lot of growth opportunities.
Okay. So what is your go-to resource for clinical updates?
Mostly, I gain my clinical insights through interaction with doctors, so that is my main source.
Okay. How do you stay updated with the recent medical guidelines?
One thing is interaction with the KOLs, medical activities like conferences and advisory board meetings, and also
Mhm.
interaction with colleagues also exchange. There's a lot of information exchange.
Okay, understood. What is your secret of managing cross-functional teams?
You need to understand their requirements because cross-functional teams sometimes might not always involve someone from a medical background. So first thing is
Mhm.
you need to understand their requirement if they are from
Mhm.
a medical or a non-medical background, and you need to address the needs based on that.
Okay. How do you approach training sessions for sales and marketing teams?
So you need to help them understand on why they need to be trained on that particular topic. So that helps them understand to interact better in terms of that particular topic. So one thing is keeping the terms very simple and not very complex and more scientific. And also video or image based presentation would help them understand better about the topic. And also interactive session at the end of the presentation or at the end of
Mhm.
the training session. So
Okay,
that is something that
understood.
I would approach.
Understood. Understood. What would be the one soft skill every medical advisor should have?
Soft skill, of course, great communication.
The key. It is the key.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So also again, virtual meetings or in-person meeting? What is your preference for an advisory board?
In person, definitely in person, because it gives you a lot more insights than it's happening virtually. Because virtually, maybe not all the KOLs
Hmm.
might not be 100% present. So
Hmm.
any day in person meetings.
Okay. Okay. The last question. How do you simplify your complex medical information to the non-experts, like non-medicos?
So I would like to keep the presentation or the topic very simple and do not involve a lot of complex scientific keywords. And
Mhm.
like I've mentioned, imaged or video based information is something that could help them understand about the topic. And
Mhm.
interactive session, of course. And yeah, more or less that's it.
Okay. Yeah. So here we sum up our rapid fire round, and we are grateful to have you. Thank you so much for doing this with us and giving so many insights to the role, to people who actually don't know much about the non-clinical sector. This would be helpful for them. Hopefully, the audience would like it.
Yes, definitely, because a lot of people, even, I get a lot of connect requests on LinkedIn as well.
Mhm.
On mostly, maybe because there is not, I haven't looked up, but maybe there is not much information on the internet on what the role is about. You keep hearing the medical advisor role is great and everything, but
Mhm.
yes, we also understand that there's not a lot of information out there. So I think it's a great initiative by Odigio to help people who want to transition and maybe particularly interested in medical advisor role to understand more about the role,
Yeah,
on to make a more
exactly.
informed decision about it if they want to go ahead with the role or not.
Right. Because when I personally tried searching on Google about things, you don't get much of information. There's nothing available. You have to try
Yes.
decoding things. But when it comes to Anita, she does her job the best. Anita means.
I I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for doing this with us from your hectic schedules. We are grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. You too. Yeah.